As preparations are made to inaugurate the 10th National Assembly, the Women in Politics Forum, together with other partners, have called on political parties with elected members in the Parliament to uphold the provisions of the National Gender Policy and consider gender as a necessary factor when zoning principal offices in the legislature. The president of the forum, Ebere Ifendu, drew attention to some high-ranking officers in the House of Representatives who are returning for the fourth time to be considered. Here's the rest of the story.
Some lawmakers both in the House of Representatives and in the Senate have already declared their interest in the positions of Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Today in Abuja, the Women in Politics Forum is asking political parties to consider the female elected parliamentarians as presiding and principal officers. The president of the forum, Ebere Ifendu, at the press conference in Abuja, called for gender inclusive in zoning ratio.
Unfortunately for us, we do not have women returning to the Senate. So though we have 3 women elected to the Senate, they are all coming in as fresh members of the Senate. But this is not to say that they don't have capacity. And so we are looking at, having them as chairs of very good committees, because they are coming in with their expertise, with their experience from other fields, and even also from politics. The House of Representatives, like I said earlier, we have some members coming back as ranking members. And so we are, positioned to take up presiding officers' positions at the National Assembly. So we therefore ask as follows: that political parties uphold the provisions of the National Gender Policy as approved by the Federal Executive Council. That political parties be primarily gender inclusive and ensure that whatever zoning ratio is adopted in the party concerning the principal offices should favor the female members-elect of the 10th National Assembly.
Other members of the forum also urged the government to implement the 35 affirmative actions and need for the incoming president to be gender sensitive.
Our problem is always the implementation. The policies will be there, good policies, people will sit down, will have time to sit down and come up with all these good intentions for women, but the implementation is always our own problem. I also want to seize this opportunity to call on the incoming president that he should please be gender sensitive in all his appointments.
In terms of bills, lobbying, and activating decisions at that level, presiding officer, just like when you have the speaker and the deputy speaker, they're usually the ones who generate the consensus and the numbers in the House and influence lobbying. But when you talk about principal officers like the deputy chief whip, minority leader, such offices are good, but we're saying presiding officers have more power and influence conversations, especially for women.
When they are there, we know that women's issues will take the spot it's supposed to take. The front burner will be addressed properly, and we know that Nigerian women will support them to make them succeed and ensure that bills that are favorable to women are brought to the front burner. This kind of selfish representation that we've been seeing from the men should stop.
And the importance this will provide to enhance Nigerian political stability. He also spoke about discrimination as she asked for the qualifications of women in principal offices.
If women are qualified or not, do we have the same question for male? Do we ask male in politics if they are qualified or not? But we tend to ask this question. It's a discrimination. So women are qualified because politics is not about qualification. It's about serving people, and women are better positioned to serve people.
Other of their pleas is that male members elect in the 10th Assembly give full support to their female colleagues seeking to run for principal office.